Hey everyone, it's Sally from the piggy room here, and Teddy, my Syrian hamster, has got a new cage. I wasn't really looking to get him a new cage, even though he was trying to chew his way out of the old one. But I just happened to come across this second-hand one, and it was such a bargain, I couldn't resist. It's a cage I've always wanted. It's the Living World Eco Habitat, and it's the large one. And it sells in the UK for £180 I think, and I came across one for £50, so I just had to get it. Anyway, on with the tour. We've made a few changes. The lid we have now fixed on with 3 hinges at the back, and also put a handle on the front, just so we now had made it into a lid rather than lifting it off all the time, because it got quite difficult to lift off because you're supposed to put your fingers through these holes to lift it off, but we meshed the inside so we couldn't really get your finger through anymore. So I'll just lift the lid and then show you what it looks like inside. So that's the inside of the lid. As you can see, it's all completely meshed. And I've got a hammock hanging up there as well, just attached onto the mesh. And first of all, on the back, we've completely covered it with a dual aquarium background of just some rocks. Well, you can see that. Oh, and before I go on, we've also put an LED strip along the outside, along the back, to give a bit of light that we can turn on in the evening. It's a multicoloured one, so we can have whatever colour we like, and also dim it so we don't have it too bright so it doesn't wake him up. Along the back we've got a shelf which was in my wooden cage when Boo was in it, if you've seen my videos before, and that's why it's pink, because everything was pink in Boo's cage. So we've put some legs on that so that we could stand it up in this cage. Oh, you can see there's 2 legs, just 2 legs on either end. And then along this shelf, first of all, he's got a cookie jar from Morrison's, which was originally, when Boo had it, was full of sand, but if I put sand in it he kicks it out, so there's no point putting it in there. And then his food bowl, and he's got some treats. He's got some corn in there, and a seed bar, and a fly. So I'll have to get that out when I shut the lid. And then again, something from Boo's cage is this platform and tunnel thing from Hop, Nibble and Squeak. It's got a tunnel that goes through the centre of it, and he really likes going to that. And then he's got one of his dog chews, a Whimsy alligator, and then a wooden house there which he doesn't actually sleep in, at least not at the moment. And then a small, well, a narrow bendy bridge which goes down to the base, and we've actually nailed that on, or screwed that on, so it couldn't fall off. Then on the base of the cage I've got a mixture of All Boys, which is a hemp bedding, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, and Carefresh Naturals. There's also a little bit of Carefresh Pink in there, as I had that from his old cage, and when I transferred him I put some in to make it all smell of him. We've got that quite deep at the one side of the cage, about a third of the cage, maybe a bit more than a third of the cage, and it's, I don't know how deep that is, 6 inches. So we've got that so we can burrow in it, and then that's separated from the rest of the cage with some large bendy bridges, which, if you can see there, they go all the way back in a strip, and those are propped up by a few large pebbles from the aquarium pebbles, I think they were. And then this half of the cage, or 2/3 of the cage, there's less bedding, because anything I put near his wheel he just kicks into the wheel, so we've deliberately kept the one area. And we've got 2 of these wooden platforms, one on top of the higher pile of bedding, and then one next to it, which helps supports the bendy bridge wall. He has a purple tunnel, plastic tunnel, which runs from one of the platforms onto the other one. I did want to make this an all natural cage, but it hasn't turned out quite like that. I've got 3 bendy bridges, one which goes from his platform with shelf to one of these wooden platforms, and another one goes from the second wooden platform again to the middle of his shelf, and then the third one goes from the higher bit of bedding down onto a wood log there. It's like a semicircle log that he can run through. Not too sure if I can show you that from here. He's got some wooden chews there and a bit of millet as well, which he likes a lot. Next to the wooden tunnel is I think it's a seagrass tunnel. On the left wall we've got his wheel, which is a silent runner wheel, which I think are sold mainly in the UK for sugar gliders, but he's quite a noisy runner on the wheel, so I got this one which is supposed to be really quiet, and he still manages to make a noise on it. Next to the wheel is his water bottle holder, which is made of wood, and my husband and I designed and made it, and the water bottle fits quite nicely on there and it's easy to take off, and it's just screwed through one of the air holes on the side to keep it in place. And in the back left corner he's got a pink bowl from Cutie Stores, which is full of sand, which he uses as his toilet. Next and lastly, at the back he's got an IKEA magazine rack, which one side has been pulled off to make a little den underneath it, and that's where he sleeps. Well, I think that's everything. I'll just stand back and give you an overview of it. It's a really nice cage. I think it has to be my favourite cage that I've ever had. I did love the Detolf, but that was quite narrow, and this, I'm not sure, but I think it must be about as long as a Detolf, but you've got that extra width which you don't have with that. Just give you a quick idea of what it looks like in the dark. I've shut all the blinds and the curtains. I can turn the lights down, that's on quite bright. I don't know how I've got it on there, but it seems to be both green and red, which is a bit weird, but I kind of like that. So yes, that's green, that's purple, but it actually looks more like blue, and I think that one's white. We tend to have it on red because hamsters aren't supposed to be able to see the colour red, so I thought that would disturb him the least. Though we can turn the brightness down, I think that's on full. If I could do it in the dark, I'd turn it down to show you. And I don't think it disturbs him. It does only really show up the shelf. When he's asleep below it, you can't see him. There's no light under there. And also we only have it on in the evening when we're in here watching TV, and then he's normally out running around then anyway, so it's a lot easier to see what he's doing. Anyway, that's it. I better finish as my memory card is just about full. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.